Welcome, welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. Boy, do we have an awesome lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening. But before I turn it over to them, I have a couple of housekeeping items to go over with you. One, this is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening. Two, this is being recorded this evening and it will be available at strivescan.com/BACS. We also know that you're going to have lots of questions and our panelists want to make sure that they're able to answer those. So if you have a question, feel free to put that question in the Q&A at any time point. Type out your question and then also note the college or university that you're directing your question to so that they can answer it appropriately. Finally, this is what's called a 6x6 or a 6x5 program, which means every college only has 6 minutes to share great information with you. So it's just enough, hopefully, for you to get a feel for the college or university, and hopefully you'll do some additional research on your own. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our first institution. I would love to introduce to you the University of Michigan. Chris, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much, Courtney, and welcome everyone. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. So just give me a few moments here. Just in terms of introducing myself, my name is Chris Tesoro. My pronouns are he, him, and I work as the Regional Recruitment Coordinator within the Office of Undergraduate Admission. So I do work specifically with students from California as well as my home state of Hawaii. And again, I want to welcome you all to the next 5.5 minutes or so about the University of Michigan. When introducing students to the University of Michigan, we would first like to reflect on our past as an institution, where we are today, and where we see ourselves going in the future. I'd first like to acknowledge that the University of Michigan resides on the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe people. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan, ceded through the Treaty of Fort Meigs so that their children could be educated. We recognize the history of displacement of Native communities, the sovereignty of tribal lands, and we reaffirm contemporary as well as ancestral Anishinaabe ties to this land, as well as the profound contribution of Native Americans to this institution. Just as we acknowledge the ancestry on the land on which we live, I also feel compelled to speak to both the reality and serious impacts of racial injustice in our country. Black Lives Matter, and we acknowledge the active role that our university must play in the conversation around those injustices and in forging a path towards positive change. Please note that our efforts begin with fostering a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community for our students, faculty, and staff here on campus. Recognizing that the University of Michigan is a predominantly white institution, please know that we do have an ongoing focus, spearheaded by our DEI office, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, on improving our climate of diversity to be supportive of all. As our president, Dr. Mark Schlichter, is quoted on the slide in front of you, we have to say out loud, Black Lives Matter, and that sentence, it doesn't need to be modified. Black Lives Matter. And in addition, we also support students through the William Monroe Trotter Multicultural Center, which is a shared space on campus for students to engage in conversation around diversity, equity, and inclusion. In terms of the University of Michigan, we are located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We moved here in 1837. It is a very traditional college town with over 300 restaurants located in downtown Ann Arbor. It is also nestled alongside the Huron River. Students, a really calling point of the University of Michigan is our location. Again, in Ann Arbor, if you have a chance to check it out, highly recommend looking it up on YouTube, various social media channels. In terms of our undergraduate population, you can see this on the slide in front of you. We have a little over 30,000 total undergraduates, with a little more than half coming from in-state, from the state of Michigan, the rest coming from across the country as well as the globe. California students, you are very well represented, third largest out-of-state population. Again, I am your representative working with students from California. Within our undergraduate population, 14% of our students identify as first-gen students, first in a family to attend a four-year institution. 18% are Pell eligible. 27% of our students self-identify as students of color, and 17% identify as members of the LGBTQ+ community. The geographic as well as ethnic diversity illustrated by this slide indicates that your experience at the University of Michigan will be greatly enhanced by the students who are coming from across the country as well as the globe. In terms of academic offerings, really you can see here the diverse offerings across our different schools and colleges, 14 undergraduate schools and colleges. Popular majors include psychology, biology. We do have a pre-health advising resource, Michigan engineering, 17 different engineering tracks. We also have the world-renowned Ross School of Business, which you can apply for coming out of high school. So I'll explain a little bit more about the application process moving forward. Many of you may be wondering what the vibe or culture is At a place like the University of Michigan, we are a large-scale public research institution. You can see we are noted as one of the top public research institution in the US. Students, you can start your research as early as your first year on campus. We offer UROP, which stands for the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program. And again, students, you can start that as early as your first year. We are also a residential campus. 97% of our first year students reside on campus. We have Michigan learning communities, 13 in total. For example, one of them is called WISE RP, which stands for Women in Science and Engineering Residential Program, which is a living learning community, very intentional to support women in STEM. My last few minutes I'll spend on our great alumni base, as well as walk you through the application process. Becoming a Michigan student really does unlock a lifetime of potential that stays with you well beyond your years. You can see some notable alumni on the slide in front of you. Students out there, if you're looking at coming back to your home state of California, you have a plethora of multiple alumni clubs within the state of California that can really help support you on your quest for career development, as well as social groups moving forward. Last but not least, my last minute and a half or so, applying to be a Michigan Wolverine, I will transition to the slide that has my contact information while I talk through my remaining time. Michigan, we do employ holistic review, which all of you have gone through earlier through the case study program. We do have early action, which is non-binding. November 1st is the deadline for you juniors or younger. We also offer regular decision, which is February 1st. Students, please note that we were test flexible this past year for our class of 2021. Students that are juniors, class of 2022 or younger, we don't have any specific guidance yet. So I just want to be transparent in saying stay tuned. Please check in on our website. We will have all the up-to-date information as it pertains to our testing policy moving forward. Test flexible means that students were able to apply with no test scores. They could also submit AP scores, IB scores, etc., to help us better understand their academic profile. But we did admit students with no test scores this year. Just want to be transparent on that framework. Financial aid, please note that our Office of Financial Aid does offer a net cost calculator on their website. So I do highly recommend utilizing that resource. 2 out of every 3 Michigan student is on some sort of financial aid. We do offer a plethora of financial aid resources through the course of your process. So I just wanted to again shout out you students for joining us here today. My contact information is on the slide. I'm happy to answer questions through the chat, but thank you for your time. And as always, go blue.
Chris, thank you so much to you and the University of Michigan. We've added several participants since I gave this spiel at the beginning, but audience, if you have any questions, please put those in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. Type out your question and also note the college or university that you're directing your question to. Now I have the pleasure of introducing to you Emory University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Giles Eady. I'm Associate Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Emory University, located in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia, the other LA. Emory University, located in the lovely Atlanta, Georgia. Here's an aerial shot of the campus and our proximity to the city. Atlanta is an outstanding place to attend college. To come of age is just a perfect city. Atlanta has all the same things that any major city would have, but at the same time, it's got a really good pace about it. There's a vibe, a way of life that we ascribe to in Atlanta called Southern hospitality that dictates that we're going to be polite to you in Atlanta. Everyone's kind of open and friendly in the city. With Emory University, there are 19 other colleges and universities in Atlanta. So we have an average student population in the city alone of 100,000 students. And so we actually have agreements that dictate that you can actually take courses on any college campus in the city. So lots to do in the city of Atlanta. Now, something you might not have known about Atlanta, but Atlanta is the birthplace and home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so certainly the spirit that Dr. King exhibited in the city and the world still exists in Atlanta. So to be a college student in Atlanta is to somewhat be an activist. As a former Atlantan, the late John Lewis said that, we want to get in good trouble. So we expect that an Emory student is going to get in good trouble during their time in college. Or as Stacey Abrams, another Atlantan, really changed the fabric of the presidential election we expect that you're going to be civically involved, engaged as well as Emory students. So Emory University, we actually have 2 campuses that you choose from in your first 2 years. And then after those 2 years, everyone comes to our Atlanta campus and goes into their major. So the first campus we have is Oxford College, which is located in Oxford, Georgia, about 45 minutes east of Atlanta. That's actually where Emory started. Then we moved to Atlanta in 1915, where you find Emory College located. So you choose one of those 2 campuses for the first 2 years. After those 2 years, no matter where you start, everyone comes to Atlanta and goes into their major in one of 3 schools. The first is going to be the Goizueta School of Business. Then we have Emory College, where most of the majors at Emory are found. And lastly, we have the Woodruff School of Nursing, where we offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So the differences in the 2 campuses: Oxford College, just first and second year students, has about a student population of about 1,000 students. So Oxford is going to look and feel like a small traditional liberal arts college. It is best suited, I believe, for someone who is wanting to be involved and looking for leadership opportunities right away, but also someone who wants to really build personal relationships with professors. The average class size at Oxford is about 10 students. And so you will certainly know your professors very well there. Then there's the Atlanta campus, where the rest of the university is found. Of the 14,000 people on campus, 7,000 of them approximately are undergraduate students. So the Atlanta campus is going to be better suited for someone who is looking for research opportunities. The vast majority of research that's conducted at Emory is conducted on our Atlanta campus. For instance, this year, we tested the Moderna vaccine at Emory. So we proved it to be effective at Emory. Also, in 2014, we were the university that treated the first Ebola patients in the United States. We treated them successfully, due large in part to our next door neighbor, the Centers for Disease Control. So the 2 of us work very closely with a lot of research. But also we can accommodate research in every area of study on campus, and we encourage you as an undergraduate to conduct research. So the average class size on the Atlanta campus is about 25 students. And so in that environment, you will know your professors and they will know you as well. With our application process, we too take a holistic approach to reviewing application. So that means that we're going to look at every single part of the application to make a decision. One thing does not qualify or disqualify you for admission to Emory, but we took the total picture of you. I like to think that a holistic process allows us to get to know you and not a resume. So with our process this year, we are test optional this year. So totally optional for you to submit the SAT or ACT. If you don't submit those scores, we won't look for them. You can be admitted without those scores, and we did admit students last year without scores. So that's our holistic process. And for financial aid, we meet 100% of demonstrated need for domestic students at Emory University. So that means that we're going to look and see what it is you can and cannot afford to attend Emory. And whatever it is you can afford, we like to help you out with a series of grants to kind of cover your costs. And those are monies that we give you that you don't have to pay us back. But we have a wonderful tool on our financial aid website called My Intuition. It's a tool that you can answer about 6 questions, and it's going to give you a ballpark figure of what Emory could look like for you financially. And lastly, as most campuses, we are doing a lot of virtual events. I strongly encourage you to check us out on our website to see the virtual events that we've got going on. We are doing campus visits again, so you certainly can schedule a campus visit. And if you're on Instagram, I highly recommend our Instagram page. A lot of fun things happen there. But I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm going to leave my information in the chat. So if you have other questions, you can certainly get in touch.
Thank you so much. Wow, we've already heard from 2 great institutions and we still have 3 to go. I hope you guys are having fun in this really neat format. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing Lawrence University. Take it away, Brianna, whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Barkin, and I am an Associate Director of Admissions at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. But I am regionally based in Los Angeles, California, and I do work with all of our students who live in the state of California. We are a small private liberal arts college, and we are a university because we have two degree granting institutions on campus. We have both a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and a Conservatory of Music. We do also offer a 5-year double degree program for students who want to pursue both a Bachelor of Music and a Bachelor of Arts in 5 years. Some of our most popular majors in the college are biology, history, creative writing, philosophy. There are about 40 different majors that our students can choose from here at Lawrence. We have 1,500 students on campus, all undergraduate, and it is required to live on campus for all 4 years. Our faculty to student ratio is only 8-to-1, which is one of the smallest in the country. And actually, 60% of our courses are taught only one-on-one. So a lot of those classes are our music lessons, but we do have a lot of students participate in independent research classes at least one time during their 4 or 5 years at Lawrence. Every first year student at Lawrence does take first year studies. It is kind of a crash course into both the liberal arts and being a student at Lawrence. Every single first year student takes the same exact curriculum at the same exact time. And you're in the same class of 15 students for both the first and second term at Lawrence. We are on a trimester system, so we have 3 10-week terms throughout the year. You'll have a unit in jazz music, philosophy, physics, literature. And at the end of each unit, you will get together as an entire first year class to have a culminating experience for that unit. And any Laurentian you talk to has definitely taken freshman's first years. We just changed the name to first year studies. And you can talk to any alum about it. It definitely binds our students together. We have a lot of opportunities for students outside of the classroom. Because we don't have any graduate students, our students can get involved in research right away. We do have our own campus in London, England. The Big Ben is not on the screen for nothing. And that's our campus, so it's very, very easy and seamless to study abroad there for 1, 2, or 3 terms. However, if you don't want to go to London, that's totally okay. We have study abroad options everywhere except for Antarctica. So Emma and my office spent a semester in Argentina. The opportunities are pretty endless there. We do also have a lot of experiential learning in the area. We have a ton going on campus. We have Division III varsity athletics, even football. It does snow and get cold in Appleton. We are a fairly diverse campus. We have about 22% domestic students of color on campus. We have about 10% international students, and 10% of our students do come from the great state of California. We also, out of last year, out of about 385 freshman students, they came from over 320 different high schools. So our students really, really are coming from all over. Downtown Appleton is really awesome. It is right across the street from where I'm sitting right now. And it is we have a mile and a half of restaurants and shops and really anything you could need right in walking distance of campus. We do even have a performing arts center that gets a full Broadway season every year. 2 years ago, Hamilton was in town and our students get tickets for $25. And I was jealous because I couldn't get any ticket to Hamilton. But it's a really awesome opportunity for our students. We are a small city, about 75,000 people. Greater metro area is 250,000. It includes Green Bay, so a lot of Packer fans in the area. And we do have an airport in Appleton, just 6 miles from campus. I have flown there from SFO. It is very, very easy and simple to do that. Our third campus is in Bjork, London, which is a retreat center on Lake Michigan. And students typically go here at least one weekend per academic year with a music ensemble, a sports team, a club, a class, any kind of organization of students to really disconnect from the real world and connect with each other. We bookend your academic experience with first year studies in the Chandler Senior Experience. So every senior completes the Chandler Senior Experience to showcase everything that they've learned throughout their time at Lawrence. After all that, we are so proud that 99% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Last year, 100% of our students who met the med school average were admitted to medical school. So that's about a B plus average GPA and an 80th percentile on the MCAT. We also were ranked the 17th highest producer per capita of STEM PhDs. So our students are certainly going on and studying hard sciences in higher education. Applying to Lawrence is very simple. We are on the Common App. We do also have our own app. You can see all the requirements on the screen right now. Test scores are optional. We've been test optional for about 20 years now, so it's not going to change anytime soon. So don't worry about that as far as we're concerned. Interviews are not required, but they are recommended. We love meeting you and getting to know you. And we always offer them both in person in the Bay Area and on Zoom. So keep an eye out for that. Either way totally works for us, and also on campus if you wanted to do one on campus. We offer a lot of financial aid and scholarship opportunities. You're automatically considered for merit-based aid when you apply. Our highest merit-based scholarship is about $30,000, which is roughly half the total cost of attendance. And then for need-based aid, we met an $85 million fundraising goal this past summer to become an institution that meets full demonstrated need. I've learned a little bit about money, and that needs to sit and grow for a few years before we can fully implement it, but we are slowly implementing it and getting as close as possible as we can for students. You can see all of our deadlines on here. The important thing to know is if you are applying for a music performance major, you cannot apply early action 2 because that does not align with the music faculty schedule to review auditions. But you can apply to any of the other deadlines. There is no real difference in admissions or financial aid for any of our posted deadlines. Thanks so much for coming tonight and staying up late, and I will pass it off to Becca.
Thank you so much, Brianna and Lawrence University. Next up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Muhlenberg College. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much, Courtney. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Becca Larson. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for the West Coast for Muhlenberg College, and I work with students from Mountain Time further west. So I'm excited to share Muhlenberg with you for a few minutes. So we are a small private liberal arts college located in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Allentown is about 60 miles from Philadelphia, 90 miles from New York City. There's several different airports that you can fly into to get to campus. You can fly into Newark or Philly airports, both of which are about an hour and 10 minutes from campus. And then we do have an airport right in Allentown as well. That's about a 10-minute drive from campus. But generally, for my friends from the Bay Area, requires a connecting flight in Chicago or Atlanta. Allentown is the third largest city in Pennsylvania. It's situated in an area called the Lehigh Valley, which was rated in the top 5 for economic development. So there's a great revitalization happening within the Lehigh Valley. There's also several colleges and universities within the Lehigh Valley that Muhlenberg is in a consortium with. So you're able to cross-register for classes and find ways to get involved in different campuses across the valley, which is really exciting for our students. Our campus itself is located in suburban Allentown, but we're just a couple miles away from the more urban part of the city. At Muhlenberg, we enroll just under 2,000 students, and we're a primarily residential college with guaranteed housing all 4 years and about 91% of students living on campus throughout their 4 years. Big point of pride for us at Muhlenberg. We take food very seriously. We've been consistently ranked in the top 20 in the nation for best campus food and often are #1 in the state of Pennsylvania. I highly recommend you try our house-made whoopie pies, which is a bit of a Pennsylvania delicacy that our students are able to get each and every day in our dining commons. Muhlenberg is a Division III school. We compete in the Centennial Conference. We have 22 different Division III sports, including football, which made it to the Final Four in Division III championships in 2019. Our 2020 season was sadly canceled, but we're just putting all of that energy into 2021. And I'll report back, hopefully with some even better news about how our team fared for their season. Academically at Muhlenberg, we offer just under 40 majors. We have a lot of academic breadth, and about a third of our students pursue a double major, another third pursue a major and a minor. So if you're a student who wants to explore multiple areas of academic interest or perhaps find connections across those different areas, Muhlenberg could be a great place for you. We offer a spectacular theater program. We're known for our strength within the visual and performing arts. Our theater major does offer a concentration in musical theater, and none of our artistic programs require artistic review or an audition, although we do have auditions and artistic reviews for students to be eligible for talent-based grants. The theater department puts on 8 to 10 main stage productions in an academic year. We have a full-fledged summer stock program in the summer, and we also produce about 40 additional student-led productions throughout the year. So no shortage of performance opportunities at Berg. Beyond our programs within the arts, we're quite strong in the sciences. Research is a big part of our students' experience, and healthcare is actually one of the biggest industries within the Lehigh Valley. So we have partnerships for both clinical and research opportunities for our students interested in the health sciences. And we have about an 87% admit rate into medical school within the US, which we're very proud of. Beyond our strength in the sciences, we have majors in business, accounting, economics, and finance, media and communications. We have a spectacular political science program that has its own polling center on campus, the Muhlenberg Center for Public Opinion, which received an A+ rating from Nate Silver's 538. So it's really exciting for our students to get to engage in political research in a battleground state in an election year. So our students and faculty were really, really busy this past fall. Lots of our students come in undecided. So if you're unsure of what it is that you want to study, know that there's plenty of opportunities for you to explore and figure out what it is that you are most passionate about academically before you have to declare that major. We also offer a ton of academic partnerships at Muhlenberg. So we are really helping students think about what's next in their academics. So we have programs like a 3+4 program in dentistry with the University of Pennsylvania. We have a 3+3 law program with Villanova University, a newer 4+1 program in applied analytics that's in-house at Muhlenberg. And we do have early assurance programs with Boston University and Temple University School of Medicine, respectively. Most of these programs you apply to once you arrive on campus. The only exception to that is our optometry program and our dentistry program, which students apply to when applying for admission to Muhlenberg. Our Career Center is a spectacular resource for students, and we do what we call career road trips, where we take advantage of our proximity to New York City, to Philadelphia, to Washington, D.C., where we allow students to do different site visits and really start to network and understand the different career opportunities that exist within their chosen field. We also have a spectacular alumni network that really helps connect students with job placements. And you can participate in an internship while you are on campus. And we also help students find internships when they come home for the summer or they want to travel or live in another city as well. So Career Center is a great service for our students. In terms of the admission process, we're a common application exclusive school at Muhlenberg. We have been test optional since 1996. So before most of you on the call were born, we were already test optional. So know that that's not going to change anytime soon. As a small school with a really deep sense of community, we really value the opportunity to get to know our students. We encourage you to interview. While they're not required, they're certainly recommended. And something I didn't mention earlier is that we've been called consistently the caring college over the years at Muhlenberg. If you look behind me, you'll see those red doors. Red is a Lutheran sign of welcoming, and we're a place where students are known for really holding doors open for one another and just having that deep sense of community and seeing smiling faces all over campus. So thank you so much for letting me share Muhlenberg with you today. I will pass things off to the next presenter. Have a great evening.
Becca, thanks so much to you and Muhlenberg College. Our final presentation tonight will be from the University of San Diego. Take it away, Scott.
All right. Well, good evening. My name is Scott Yonner. I'm an admission counselor at the University of San Diego, oversee Northern California as well as the Southwest. A little bit about University of San Diego. So we were founded in 1949. We are a contemporary Catholic institution. About 40% of our students identify with the Catholic faith. The remainder of our students either identify with a different faith background or no faith background at all. At USD, we do not require students to go to Mass, nor do we require them to be a part of the campus ministry. If you're looking for that component, we have a phenomenal campus ministry to be a part of. As well, we have other faith-based clubs on campus. The only religious requirement we have is one lower division, one upper division religious theology study. That lower division is going to sort of cover probably a little bit of Catholic history. Upper division, you can take whatever you want. So I have a daughter who's a senior at the University of San Diego. When she was in Cork, Ireland for her semester abroad last 2 falls ago, she took Buddhism for upper division. So you can choose any for that. You will find USC to be a very accommodating, inclusive institution, regardless of your religious beliefs, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status. It really is a warm and inviting place to be able to be a part of. We are a mid-sized institution. We have about 5,900 undergraduates, 2,800 graduate law students on campus. You can sort of see the breakdown there. About 38% of our students identify as being students of color. This past year ranked 6th most beautiful campus in the nation. Truly an amazing campus to be able to walk upon, especially as you're walking towards the west end in the evening with the sunsets absolutely gorgeous. We're sort of up on a hill in San Diego. We overlook Mission Beach, Mission Bay, downtown San Diego. We're about 10 minutes away from the airport, 10 minutes away from Mission Beach. We're about 5 minutes away from Old Town, so we're very centrally located. And then San Diego, a lot of people don't know, but we're also the 8th largest city in the nation. So a lot of opportunities for students here to be able to engage in, especially on the weekends. We do offer 42 majors, regardless of the major you put on your application. Everybody comes in undeclared, and you have up until your 4th semester to declare your major, double major, major minor, double major, or major double minor. You're guaranteed any of our majors, and all you have to do is just declare your major. So there's no additional application process to the School of Business or the School of Engineering. With the School of Engineering, it is a 4.5-year long program. And with that, students graduate both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science. It is ranked 13th in the nation. Our average class size is 22. We cap all of our courses at 40. So my daughter's largest class in 4 years has been 33. Her smallest class has been 12. All of our courses are taught by professors, as well. All of our professors have weekly office hours, super accessible to the students. We also have great pre-professional advising programs. So if you're looking to do pre-med, pre-law, pre-dental, pre-health, or whatnot, this is an additional advisor that will just walk with you over the course of the next 4 years to make sure you get all the prerequisites you need to be able to go to graduate school, as well as internship opportunities, undergraduate research opportunities, and then preparing for your MCAT, your LSAT, your GRE, your DAT, whatever test you're going to take for graduate school. We student to faculty ratio is also 13:1. And then we also offer undergrad research for all of our majors. But if you're a science major, you're guaranteed a minimum of 100 hours of undergrad research. This is done with the lead professor if that research is published, and the students are co-authored with that as well. We do require students to live on campus for the first 2 years. We do have housing available for all four for those who'd like to live on campus. As well, we have a very vibrant Trero life on campus with over 180 clubs and organizations, 17 Division I athletic programs, over 50 club and intramural sports. We have 30 plus multicultural organizations on campus, 65 honor professional societies. We have 9 sororities and fraternities. So there really is a lot of opportunities for students to be able to engage and to be an active part of the community on campus. One of the things that USC is really proud of is the fact that we're one of 45 campuses in the world that's designated as an Ashoka Changemaker campus. And this is based upon our ongoing commitment to social justice, social innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, global perspective. We do find that the students who thrive on our campus are looking to use their strengths, their talents, and their passions to really engage in the world in which we live in to help make a difference. So we find our students are very engaged, whether it's on USC campus with something as simple as water sustainability, to helping the needy and homeless in downtown San Diego, to doing transborder work and working in Mexico. A lot of opportunities, both locally, nationally, and even internationally. As well, study abroad is very important to our students. About 83% of our students will do at least one study abroad while at the University of San Diego. We have over 80 programs in 30 different countries. We also have a campus in Madrid, Spain, which is really popular. When it comes to the application, we are Common App exclusive, regular decision, December 15th. We don't have early action, early decision, 1 letter of recommendation. I know it says here that test score is going to be optional. We just made the decision last week that this year, for fall of 22, we're actually going to be test blind. So we won't be taking in, any test scores into consideration. When we do look at your application and the GPAs you see here, they're weighted, they're for the incoming class of fall of 20. We're going to look at your academic achievement. We're going to look at your changemaker qualities, your personal qualities, and that's really going to be our basis for students to be admitted to be considered for merit scholarships, as well as being considered for the honors program. And then finally, we do have merit scholarships. Top 40% of admitted students based upon weighted GPA, changemaker qualities, and personal qualities will receive between 18 to 25,000 in merit scholarships. With that, I'm going to go ahead and stop my presentation. And thank you so much for taking out your time to be here this evening.
Thank you, Scott, to you and the University of San Diego. Next up, I'm going to invite all the panelists to turn back on their cameras and share a little bit more information about their institution. So we'll go round robin in the same order that you presented originally. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus? So Chris, I think that means you're up first.
Thanks so much. At the University of Michigan, just to be relevant with some of the questions that we're seeing, we have an annual event called Festival, which allows students to explore our 1,600 plus student organizations, as well as clubs on campus. In a traditional year, it's on the diag. So imagine what you would think of as a traditional gathering place. And students, if you are wondering how to find community, this is a great starting point. And again, Festival is what it's called. Highly, highly recommend looking into that particular tradition of ours.
Sorry about that. It's 11:30 at night, so I'm still hanging on here. But a fun tradition that we have at Emory is going to be a tradition we have called Song Fest. Song Fest is an event that happens the first week of classes, and it's where all the first year dormitories get together. And with your dorm mates, you have 1 hour to create a unique song and dance. And then you perform it for alumni, for upperclassmen, and even for administrators who then judge you and say which dormitory won. And so if you win, you get bragging rights for all 4 years. And I've seen students say, don't tend to forget their dorm song and dance.
Hey everybody, my favorite tradition at Lawrence is Welcome Week. It is the week before classes start. All of our first year students move into campus to get acquainted the week before. And on the first night, you and your parents and whoever else came with you to move you in, gather in Memorial Chapel. It's so beautiful in there, and you're presented with your class colors, and everyone shakes the hand or elbow bumps or waves this year with the president of the university and signs our honor pledge. So that is my favorite tradition.
I'm going to go with a food tradition now, since it's also 11:30 where I am, and I think it's time for a midnight snack. But we do what we call Battle of the Chefs, and this is where we really kind of collaborate with our peer schools within the Lehigh Valley. And so we host it at Muhlenberg every year. We invite chefs from the dining halls of Lafayette College, Lehigh University, and a few other local schools, and they all cook their own dish. And then students get to, taste all of those different dishes and then vote on what is the best. And we are proud that we continuously win. And it's not because we're just on our own home turf. I think it really is because our food is the tastiest. But I know it's an event that our students look forward to each and every year.
I think one of the really cool traditions that they have at USD is that every Thursday, President Harris does a walk down Tecolote Canyon, which is on the backside of USD. It's an opportunity for any students that want to be a part of it to be able to join him, to be able to connect with him, to spend time with him, to ask questions. And it's really popular. Our students just really appreciate the accessibility the president has with the students. And that's just one of the ways that he's able to show that with them.
I love these. I'm going to do one more, guys, at least. So share an interesting or fun fact about your school. And we'll go in that same order. So Chris, up first.
Thanks so much. I'll use the same fun fact I used at the previous session, which is many students don't recognize or are knowledgeable about our academic calendar. In a traditional year, finals week for our Michigan undergrads is typically the last week in April. So students, please know that in a traditional year, you have all of May, all of June, all of July, most of August to explore various opportunities, maybe hit refresh, maybe come back to your home state of California to revisit friends, colleagues, etc. So that is something that is unique to the University of Michigan, I believe, and something that I really recommend looking into in terms of exploring other opportunities beyond your academics.
All right, fun fact at Emory University. I'm saying what I mentioned with the previous group, but Coca-Cola was founded in Atlanta. It's Atlanta's hometown drink. And Coca-Cola has a lot to do with Emory University's place that it is today. So we would not be who we are if it was not for the founder of Coca-Cola. So to start every school year, we actually have a Coca-Cola toast. So Coca-Cola sends over bottles of Coke that you can only get for our event. You can't find them anywhere else in the world. And so we take those Coke bottles and the entire campus toast to a new school year. And so it goes without saying that there's no other soft drink that we recognize in Atlanta, especially around Emory, more than Coca-Cola. If you drink that other one, it's a very overrated experience. I wouldn't recommend it.
Lawrence is based in Appleton, Wisconsin, and we are the proud childhood home of Harry Houdini. We believe in magic, and if you are lucky, you can find a sorting hat in our library.
So a favorite fun fact at Muhlenberg is that through our theater program, you can take a 6-sequence stage combat series of courses, which gets you certified as a stage combatant. And one of those 6 courses is called swashbuckling, which is single sword fighting like a pirate. So you'll often hear me calling Muhlenberg, affectionately because of that class.
It never gets old. At University of San Diego, I think for me, a really cool fact is of NASA's most recent class of 11 new astronauts, 2 of the astronauts are USD alum. So we're super proud of that.
So since you guys are experts and those on listening are probably just launching their college search in most cases, I'd like you to share some of your expertise with them. So the next question I'm going to ask you, because we have a couple of minutes left, is what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go in the same order.
Definitely, my advice is to utilize the resources that are available to you. Many of you are coming from high schools that we are very familiar with as the recruitment or admissions professionals that work with your directed high school. So we are all human beings. We are partners in this admissions process. Early action, early decision, regular decision, School of Music, Theater, and Dance. What does this all mean for you? I think the best advice is to lean on those resources because it is your best information gathering. I know this may seem daunting, but we are all human beings behind the admissions curtain, so to speak. And we're also happy to be able to assist you through this process by answering questions that you or your high school counselor may have.
My piece of advice that I've offered all the previous groups is to stay away from rankings. Rankings tend to lead you in a horrible direction. I think if you're basing your college choice solely on a rank, you are really following the crowd. And I think that you should personally rank colleges for yourself, not based on what a magazine says or what a magazine assesses a university to be. There are a lot of universities and a lot of them, we do a lot of the same things. But at the same time, you just need to find the one that fits you the best. If it fits you the best, you'll do the best there. It doesn't matter where you go. It matters what you do with what you go, or we do with where you go, rather.
Yeah, so a good thing to remember during this process is it is super stressful. So definitely make time for self-care during this process. With your parents or your aunts and uncles or whoever's talking about it, have, safe spaces to not talk about it, or make a calendar, every week we're going to have a half an hour meeting about college. But other than that, don't let it consume your life entirely.
Yeah, I think it's so important to keep an open mind in this process. There are over 4,000 colleges and universities out there. And I think sometimes when we open up the newspaper or when we're talking to people, there's a select number of schools that are often in conversation. So making sure that you're kind of expanding beyond, everyone could build a college list out of schools that they've heard of or where friends and family have enrolled, but keeping that open mind and exploring options that maybe were less familiar to you is going to open you up to lots of incredible opportunities.
And my recommendation, as you guys are going out and about, figure out which college is going to be a best fit for you. You guys have a lot of universities and colleges that are in the Bay Area. You can go to Santa Clara University, see what it's like to walk on a smaller mid-sized institution. You walk on Berkeley, see what it's like to walk on a large institution, and see what size is sort of the best fit for you. So as you start to look around the country, you can know, well, a mid-size is sort of the better fit for me. I want access to the professors, or I want large classes where I can just don't have any accountability, but you can sort of figure that out. And if you can walk on the campus, do so, because you'll know in 5 or 10 minutes if it's a best fit for you or not. So that would be my advice.
And I would quickly say, look at the professionals on this screen. They are, as they mentioned, human beings and really want to help you through this process. They also want you to have some fun. This should be a little bit of fun too, because you are embarking on an incredible transformative adventure. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. As you close out, there'll be a quick 4-question survey. We hope that you'll provide us with some feedback. This session was recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/BACS within 1 week. Best wishes, everyone, with your college search. Bye-bye.